to Adobe Animate CC training. So today I will be making a 80s space graphic animation, and I've got some source material here that I will be using as reference. So you can see I have a ship here and I have some asteroids here, and I will be using, I'll be essentially tracing this. So in Adobe Animate CC, I've set the background to black. I've left the frame rate at 30 frames per second. So I will go to File, Import to Stage, and I'll go to my very messy desktop. I do apologise. So I will go to my desktop just here, and I will. There's my rocket, and I'll create a new layer here. I'll lock this layer, and I'm just going to trace actually around this graphic. So I'm going to zoom in like so, and I'm going to use the line tool. So the line tool is just located here underneath the shape tool, and I'm going to make this temporarily a bright red color and change it later, only because that I really need to see the graphic underneath. So I am going to use the line tool. You could use the pen tool, actually probably would be better actually, but I really like using simple tools really. So I'm doing this very quickly. Obviously, you could take more time on this. I just want to get the rough shape of the ship, and you could obviously draw your own designs as well. This is 80s inspired, so I'm just drawing in like that. So I'm just following these lines really to create this space. I quite like it, this colour actually. Very reminiscent neon colours of the 80s. I'm just going to quickly do this so that we can start. We're going to have to do the asteroid as well. Just getting. So I'm not actually drawing on the actual bitmap. I am tracing in the layer above the bitmap. So this thing here. Engine, I think. So let's just put that there. Let's get here. Obviously, you could really go to town on this. Bring it there. Around. Here, which put it here, little thing here. Let's put that there. So I'm going to turn the eyeball off the ship. I've got it locked currently. It's not too bad. So we don't really need this anymore. So we're going to delete this, and I'm going to call this ship. So with this selected, so I'm going to select that keyframe to make sure that all the lines are selected. And I'm going to go to Modify, Convert to Symbol, and this needs to be a graphic symbol. And the registration point I'm going to put that in the center there, and we can adjust that later. I'm going to call this ship. Click OK. So this is now a graphic symbol. You can see the blue bounding box around this. And if we go to Window, Library, you'll be able to see, obviously that's the bitmap we brought in, but we can now see the graphic symbol that we've just made, which now lives in the library. So I'm just going to move that over. And I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to hide this because we want to have an asteroid that's interacting with the ship, or avoiding the ship. So I'm going to click on Adobe Animate. I'm going to choose Import to Stage, and I want to bring in this huge document. I only want to, I'm going to scale this a little bit, so I'm going to zoom out here, and I'm going to scale this down like so, just move it up like so. It should really move with the move tool here, and I am going to use one of these shapes. So I'm just going to zoom in here. Let's bring that down a bit, and this seems like a nice shape to do. So this is my asteroids. Layer. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to lock this asteroids layer, and once again I'm going to use the line tool to create the asteroids graphics. So nice, easy, simple shape. I'm going to finish that off like so. And I'm going to, we don't need this layer anymore, because if we turn the eyeball, you can see that we've got our asteroids. So I'm going to delete this layer and call it asteroids. I'm going to zoom in here, zoom a bit, and I'm just going to just make these connect a little bit. And obviously these are vector graphics, so we can move, very pliable. Let's move that in. Oops, let's just move that in like that. Let's just like so. Thinking we probably will need to, because we're going to make this turn around and stuff. So with a bucket tool, I'm going to fill this. I'm going to temporarily change the document information there just to white, very temporarily, and just fill that. Now that probably isn't filling because we need to close small gaps. We really need to have this to be dark. That's right, and let's turn the eyeball off this one. And turn the eyeball, it's probably down here somewhere. Actually, oh yeah, there she is. And because this is a symbol, we're going to have to break into this. So with our asteroids, we need to select this. I'll just turn the background to the normal color of my document. Right, so with the selected, with everything selected, the fill and the outline, we need to change this into a graphic symbol. So we need to go to Modify, Convert to Symbol, choose Graphic. We want the registration in the center, and we're going to call this asteroids. And then click OK. And if we go in the library, we should be able to see our asteroids. So I'm just going to choose Fit in Window. We have our stage. So we have our asteroids layer and we have our ship layer. So now we want to start animating our animation. So I'm just going to choose fit in window 100%. That's much better. So I'm going to start off with the asteroid. So I'm going to turn the eyeball off the ship. I'm going to select the asteroids. Now we're going to use an animation technique called classic motion tweening. The classic motion tweening is a bit different from frame by frame. We can use fewer frames. So in the timeline, we need to select our timeline. So I'm just going to select all of our timeline there. There's frame 20. To right click, select all of it. Control click, choose insert frame. And we're going to put keyframes in between frame 1 and up to 21. So we've got a keyframe here. This is where this rocket will start. So it's going to start off in the corner, and we'll just have it going around the stage. So frame 5, I could control click and choose insert keyframe, or we could go here. So this is a fairly new addition. So if I click and hold, you can see that we've got frames, blank keyframes, and keyframes. So we can click this and choose keyframe. I'm just going to undo that, so I don't actually want that to happen here. So in this keyframe, I'm going to move this asteroid across. Maybe put it in the center, like so. And frame 10, put the keyframe and just move it up to frame 15. And put a keyframe and just move it. Just going to have it just going across the stage, and we can insert frames here and then choose insert frame. Let's bring that back a bit. So 15. So every 5 frames, it's just going across and they're very linear. Actually, let's do that. I was talking, not focusing. So we want a keyframe, don't we? So I need to make sure that this is hitting keyframe. So I'm going to move that across here. Let's go to here. Let's press a keyframe and then move this here. And let's just insert these keyframes the old-fashioned way. Let's move up here. And we want it, where was it? That was there. So let's go here. Let's put onion skin on so that we can see where we're going. Let's move this. Oops. There, and let's put some more frames in. And if we go all the way back there, let's see, onion skin. Let's get that skin on. I think we want it up to there. Let's take onion skin off. So we've got all of these frames here, and I'm just going to adjust the frame, the timeline, so that we can see all the frames. So if we move the playback head, you can see that we've got the rocket going around the stage. It's rather jerky, so we actually need to tween this layer. And if we select all of this layer, right click and choose Create Classic Tween. So it goes smoothly around the stage, like that. So in this, I'm going to put the eyeball on the rocket. We want the rocket to float around as well, trying to avoid the asteroid. So I'm actually going to use the free transformation tool and just adjust that. And we can do all sorts of things like rotate it, which is pretty cool. So we can start it off in this corner and have it floating around, just trying to basically have it avoiding the asteroid. So I'm doing this straight ahead, so I will be adjusting keyframes and positions as I animate. So I'm going to put in a frame here and extend that. So here I'm going to have this, maybe I'm going to have this rotating. Just a bit rotating, quite nice, won't it? Yeah, let's have it rotating, and then in here, oops, I think we need to have a frame in here. So let's put a keyframe and let's have this dodging that. Seem to have, oh yeah, oh yes. Okay, so that's good. So let's put a keyframe in here. So maybe let's have this rotating. And so we've got this. Let's have this. Let's put a keyframe in here. Let's have this. Always use the move tool for moving, much easier. Let's have this up there. And let's put a keyframe in here. Let's rotate this so that it's there. Let's keyframe in here. Keyframe. Let's have this down here. Let's put a keyframe in here. And let's have this. So let's select all of this layer for the ship layer. Let's right click and choose classic tween. So let's loop this animation. Press play. Loop the playback. That's much better. Let's press play. Right. So we can actually spread out our frames. Oh, by the way, when you do motion tween, classic motion tween, the timeline where you've tweened your keyframes will turn to this lavender purple colour. So we can actually input frames. So I'm just going to insert frame here just to make it a bit smoother. Let's insert frame, insert frame, insert frame. So we can actually, let's do that. Click here and use this because this is just really, really good actually. This is a fairly new thing, which is really nice. I tend to still do it the old school way of doing it manually. Put more, put more. You can slow things and make them smoother. So let's do that and see. Let's just make. Right, so let's press play and let's loop this. So it's rather fast, but we can actually, let's stop this and turn the loop off. We can actually adjust positions and add more frames to make it smoother. So that's how you get a very simple animation using the line tool, creating these very retro graphics. In the next video, I'd like to show how to create a animating star field in the background while this animation is playing.